Hey everybody, welcome. I got Andrea here. I'm gonna actually have to change the title of this live stream because I'm gonna give Nader El Shami a warning because this is a warning to you. Do not send false copyright claims to me because I have a video that's no longer available due to copyright claim by Nader El Shami, and it is a crazy amount of the video that he's claiming, which is a false claim. You need to be very, very specific when it comes to claiming or saying that what I am doing violates copyright, especially when you are talking about violence against women. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have to figure out if it really was him. And if it is, then we're going to figure out the exact moment in time that he talked about along the lines of kicking somebody in the face. Can somebody please remind me which video or live stream this was and the exact time point that he said such a thing? Because we're going to flag that. So before we begin, let's get into this. So I just got this a few minutes ago. Don't do this, especially when you're talking about female private parts mutilation, especially when we see you on video in the past slapping Foodie Beauty, especially when you're talking about a shoe hitting a face. You do that, we're going to flag you for what should have been reported because what you're doing is against terms of service. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to start tonight with him. Andrea, let me add you. Hey, Andrea, what's going on?
Hey, Monty. Hey.
Hi.
Is it just me today?
I guess so. We are going to invite more people. But yeah, so I received that he got the nerves while he's been blatantly violating terms of service. Well, no more, not with me. You're not going to be doing that shit with me. If you're going to try that crap with me, we are definitely going to put in the appropriate flagging of his live streams. Every single live stream. Anything, any terms of service that he violates, if that really was him, we're putting it in. And I guarantee it. It's starting tonight.
He's gross.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he needs to be whether or not that person is him. If it's like, I don't know. I don't know if a fake can do that, but um, he needs to be off the platform. Clearly,
Yeah.
he's
So,
gone way beyond any casual breach of terms of service. Like he's being who he is, and he's abusive. He has stabbed two people, and
yep.
he just casually mentions, "Oh, you're either your husband needs to leave you or he needs to beat you." He said that to somebody.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah,
All right.
he's all about domestic violence. He said that's what your husband needs to do. Me and Dee Dee were gonna send you money. He's just a piece of shit. That's all he is. So I mean, if he did that, good on him. I mean, he can get all of the attention. I mean, people don't people don't have to tolerate him talking to him like that. I don't know why.
And we're not. We're not as this
I don't.
community. Starting tonight, any terms of service that he's ever violated and any of his videos, we're gonna get the time points and we're gonna be flagging them. You want to play this stupid game? Well, you're gonna win stupid ass prizes, Netter. All right, we got Sunshine Granny, MFW, Birthday Eve, 3338 mentions Netter's friend request. Okay, thank you, Sunshine Granny. All right, does anybody remember what was the live stream where he said something about a shoe to a face?
I don't watch him, but I remember a couple of reactors.
Okay, well, I'll find it and I am definitely
Yeah.
gonna put that in for a violation. Because like I said, you want to play games
I mean, and
after.
those are legit violations. Like
Yes, they are legitimate.
he's pretending like you took something from him. Like nobody's watching your bullshit channel, dude. You have
Hmm.
you have the audience you have, but nobody would even be aware of you if you were not featured on other reaction channels. So you can say that someone is taking your content. Really, what they're doing is they're giving you more of an audience because people are not coming to your channel. Your algorithm is fucked, basically. So, I mean, I say do it. I hate him. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, Yaba says fuck around and find out. That's what happens. I mean,
And this evening when he was cooking and whatnot, there were no people in green, so no members.
mm-mm.
He has formally announced he has demodded everybody, but I only think he had one mod left, and she's gone. And then the chat went to calling him bum all the way down, just over and over and over again. And that's when I had to leave to come over here. I mean, it was like just one after another, after another, after another. It just kept coming through. People would redo and redo and redo. I mean, it was, and Dee Dee breathed, and that was about all Dee Dee did.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure like he's feeling some kind of way. He doesn't want to accept that his channel is shit, that he's shit. So he's gonna go he's gonna go around and pick his target because that's what people who can't handle their own mistakes do. That's what they do. They go and they attack other people. So it's fine. Nobody wants to watch. I mean, after he basically, I mean, he had a community. He had people that wanted to support him. He had people that were genuinely, for some reason, interested in what he was doing, and he shat on them. He told them they were stupid for believing everything they saw online and how they should not be doing that. And you know what people said? You know what? I'm out. And that's what he gets. And now he calls himself trying to claim, probably because he's also broke and he's not getting views, so he's trying to claim copyright on a video that will get views. So I mean, his talk about his obvious misogyny, his obvious speech about violence against women, all of that needs to come off the platform. He needs to come off the platform.
I agree. Can I intervene for a moment? I'm sorry, I can't be up here too long. I got the kiddos with me. The video you're looking for is the seafood soup, which was done 2 days ago, 22 minutes, 55 seconds in.
Clutch.
22:55 seafood soup
Yep.
2 days ago. Okay,
Here,
gotcha. I'll look for
you
that
are
time
Alright.
point.
you are good, good, good. You
Come
go
Oh,
for it.
don't mess
join.
with me on that because you
Yeah,
done false flagged the wrong channel, honey.
yeah.
So love you guys. I'll be listening in the chat, okay?
And come
Happy
That's
join me
Halloween.
cooking. I'm gonna be looking at that, so we're gonna get some time points on that as well. Because he done messed around and he's gonna find out.
Yeah, I
Definitely
mean,
gonna find out tonight.
for him to try to claim, um, I don't think I've seen a single video of yours that features his content. The only reason why we talk about Nader is because of the bullshit he does with Chantal. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's going on, so it's not like we go to his channel. I mean, the only reason why, I mean, and this is going to eat him alive to probably his dying day. The only reason why we care about him is because he's with Chantal. And even
Yeah,
though he doesn't want to claim her, even though she still pines after him or whatever, you know, he acts like he's so important, and he has this, you know, sense of grandiosity about himself. It's like you're a bum. And you know, they were making fun of him, and I want to make it clear that I think the reason why that chat was calling him homosexual, because they knew it would get under his skin. If you called me gay, I wouldn't care because I don't see being gay as a bad thing.
yeah,
correct.
Nader,
exactly.
for Nader, he
Oh
was
yeah.
so upset because he's an asshole.
Well, and to somebody in his chat said that she had called Dee Dee's work and they told her that she was no longer employed there. Now, whether we can believe that, I don't know that that's facts, Monty, but you know, we're still trying to track that down. But I just thought that was interesting. And Dee Dee did not reply. So I'm just that's just something that's out there. And the fact that he's not observing Ramadan. I know somebody asked him that in one of his chats, and he said you do not observe Ramadan if you are ill. I don't know what he's ill with, but that is a true statement that you don't observe Ramadan if you're ill. But anyway, that's because again, he was clearly cooking and eating during the daylight this evening. So just
You know what? You know what? That's his go-to answer when he. I'm not Muslim. I was born and raised in Tennessee, and like we were all Christian there. But I said that to say I don't know much about much in regards to being a Muslim, but the Muslims I do know that practice like that dude, like they're probably not gonna. The only people that are judging him or looking at him sideways is probably the people that actually practice. Like people are not gonna care if he observes Ramadan. It's in his head. So he has to make up some cockamamie story. Oh, you're not supposed to observe if you're sick. That's his go-to to make
well,
himself
no, I
a
know
virtuous
that for a
person.
fact. I know for a fact
Nobody
you do
cares.
not observe if you're ill because I have a really close friend from Bangladesh and she's very
Mhm.
observant.
But do you
And
think he's actually sick, or you think it's a lie? I think it's BS because he's a
I mean,
BSer.
just look, he looks like he's wasting away. He's got some kind of wasting disease to me, is what he looks like.
He
Because
does.
Lord knows he eats his whole plate of the stuff he cooks. And it is very healthy food. So you would think it would give him vitality, but he absolutely looks like he's wasting away. That's just my 2 cents. Now, Natter's going to come for me just like DLF has come for me, which so
We're here, hippie. They
Hippie,
can all
you're
they can
like,
all come.
yeah, didn't
They can
Foodie
all
come for
come.
you?
Let them come. This is like Braveheart up in here.
yeah,
Okay, like
Braveheart.
well, I'm going to go get me like what do you call it? The armor that they put on during the back in the day. I'm gonna go get me some armor, and I'm just sit here in my
Chainmail.
silver armor.
chainmail. So I just don't think I don't think Ramadan is even near his mind. I don't think so. I think he just said that so he could keep his image. That's what I think. I don't think he um I don't think he cares about it. I don't think he cares
Oh,
about holding up those
oh, I don't
values.
either because he drinks, he does drugs, you're not supposed to do any
And
of
he
that.
feels like women should get the crap beat out of them. And I know for a fact
That's that
that's
could
not
be
one of the tenets. Like
well,
that's
no,
not it.
that is what they believe in some of those countries, and so depending on the Shia
I think it's
law,
accepted. I think it's accepted as like a because a lot of people in the South accept it. That's between a man and a husband and a wife. But
yeah, I agree with you too. For being from Texas and you being from Tennessee, yeah.
yeah, I
Oh,
just Natter is garbage, and that is all.
mm-hmm. Beverly
But
Jane says these people are dodgy as hell. Team Monty all the way. Well, thanks, Beverly. What else were you gonna say, Andrea?
but I think as far as DLF is concerned, my whole thing with him was like he was coming so hard after Monty, and he's so upset that the chat was saying, you know, he has certain predilections. You know, what I wanted to say to him, and I probably could have said it a little bit better when I was chatting, I was just so upset. You make jokes, and he's gleeful about cheese pizza. He has said repeatedly that he wants these predators, child predators that he met in jail to come and live in his home and be in his home. And he's going to make sure they get the treatment that he needs. And I thought to myself, you live on Section 8. You can't have anybody in your place. Who you're going to put those people on your lease? Does Section 8 know that you're going to move these people in? They have to register wherever they move to. I thought,
Right.
DLF, what are you talking about? And I thought that is a bunch of BS. And so his story became more and more his story became more and more ludicrous. And I said, you know what, DLF has not, it's either one or two things. He either has not thought this through, how this story of him trying to shelter these guys, how this story doesn't make any sense, or he's really, really, really upset that people are connecting dots. People that are not just in his little bubble on his channel that laugh at his horrible statements and his horrible comments. He's
Well,
like shaking about it. He's
yeah,
really trying to make this community afraid that we are connecting dots. And I said, excuse me, if you're going to take pictures of children in advertisements, he filmed a girl walking in the mall when he pretended he was filming a
correct.
store, but
Hmm.
off of the left of the frame, there was a girl walking. And I was just
Yep.
like, DLF, I see that. You're filming a kid right now. None of this is okay. And then he doesn't have the disgust that most people have towards that kind of thing. So people
That-
are going to connect dots, and then you're going to go call a lawyer. Go call a lawyer, my friend. There's no judge in America that's going to say, I'm crazy for thinking there's something going on with you, sir.
Right.
So, you know, but he has not, he DLF has not listened to himself, and he just doesn't get how flimsy. I stay in touch with those guys because they're gonna live with me, and I'm like, you don't have the ability to do any of that.
authority, the ability, yes. And the thing is, I that caught me so off guard yesterday or whenever it was that I just about went and crawled under a hole because I've never said a word about the guy. I haven't written anything in chat about him, I don't think. I
He was
know
talking so much garbage about. I said, what
I've
did he
never
be saying
said
about
anything about him
him?
on panel because he's not my interest. That's not why I'm here. I'm Chantal all the way, and that just
Yeah, we
blew
like
my mind.
comical train wrecks. We don't like what he's talking about. I mean, he makes me upset, like legit upset, and it's really disgusting that he sees something wrong with us. And then he was talking about Ray Ray. I was like, wait a minute, let me come through my computer real quick. It was just really weird. So yeah, I don't know what was going on with DLF, and it just seems like the crises are coming out because of the full moon.
Right. Could you see how the man was practically sweating and turning red talking about his hard
What?
drive for like half an hour? I'm like, dude, I just said one sentence about a hard drive that has a pin code on it. That's it. One
It doesn't
sentence.
help that you are communicating with child predators and you have that. These are just logical connections that anybody's going to make. Nobody had to make a sign. Nobody had to sit down and listen to one of. This is my theory. Monty never did that, and I was just like, my dude, you gave us this body of evidence. And you know what? If me as a layperson that's sitting here is thinking that, then guess what some law enforcement person is doing who's had years of experience hunting these people, legit hunting people with predilections. Yeah, they're knocking on your door, dude. But I want him to understand that nobody is doing that without his input. He's giving everything. Nobody has to tell me to think that about him. He's giving me everything. You know what I mean? I want him to.
Correct.
Exactly.
And the other thing is when the lawyer said, "Yes, I can spend the weekend watching the videos for $200 an hour," and I'm like, "Okay, I actually pay Monty to watch his videos, so
Right.
I want my $200 an hour." I'll
Yeah.
take your notes because there's not going to be anything. It's all just stupidity.
Oh, is Nader saying something? Oh, hey, CM Cakes. Look at your doggy.
Um,
Hi.
Pretty Lady says he's talking about me right now, saying he had asked me to take down the video. That's why he strikes you. Well, it's a false strike, and
It's
there
a
are
false
legal
strike.
consequences for him to do that. And now he better come correct because every terms of service violation that he has done, I'm gonna be flagging it,
You
and
know, it
everybody
doesn't
should flag it.
matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because when you ask someone something, see, this is his behavior. When you ask someone something, when you ask them to do something with something that belongs to them and they don't have to comply with you. So because he didn't comply with him, this is how he does it. He's trying to punish Monty. But it's like, no, dude, you can kiss your channel goodbye.
Yeah, he's hurting in views, so now he has the time to actually look at, hey, let me see what else I can go and fish. Actually, Andrea, thank you so much. This is actually a cake I made. So this little doggy is a cake that I had made. I
That's a
tried
cake.
some back. Thank you, thank you. I wanted to hop in real quick. I wanted
Crazy.
to thank you. Um, clarify something I had said the other day on the chat for us. And so Mo translates, she had put up, and I say she, I apologize. Everybody says it's a lady. So if it's not, my
Oh,
apologies. They had say
okay.
that Nader had said something that was disrespectful when we were talking about the fish stick word. And I wanted to clarify. So somebody on her chat actually mentioned that in the video, he actually was going to use the word in English, maggot, but with an F, being very disrespectful when he was talking about Pete's. And he tried to, I guess, masquerade it or hide it by trying to make it sound like an actual Arab word. And so he made all this twisting things that at the time he actually made it sound like it was fish stick. And I actually think that Monty is right what he says when he probably has seen an episode of the cartoons where he actually associated it. So it was like this downfall spiral that he was just trying to masquerade the word maggot. Which again, it was kind of like the beginning of what his true persona is and all of the things that he has said. I just wanted to express how saddened and truly disappointed I am at the fact that he actually still has a little bit of an audience after all the horrible
Yeah.
things he has said about people, women in particular, all of those comments. I was actually surprised that his channel
Yeah.
hadn't taken being down because those things are horrible, horrible for him to say in that sort of platform. And I was watching Mrs. Field's channel a while back ago. He only had like 200 and something people watching him. So he's going down. Thank you so much for everybody who's uh, saying nice things about the cake. I appreciate it.
It's
Um,
amazing.
thank you. So yeah, I agree
That
with
cake
you and he that, and it's just it's sad. what is happening with Nader's channel.
Well, it's not sad that it's still around. Sad that he keeps abusing women on a financial level, emotional level, and a physical level. He's abusing people every which way he can. Emotionally, physically, financially, he needs to be gone. And I think this is going to be the start of the end for him with his
He needs to be
memberships
gone.
done and gone. And then now he's constantly on the defense, doesn't even know what to do, what to say. He's just listening, looking at all the tomatoes right now, making up
Yes.
stories.
Let's
This
talk
is
about
the
yes.
beginning of the end for him, and he's going to be
Agree.
gone soon. And I hope he finds himself on a long, long jail sentence for all that he's done. Hi there, Antoinetta. How are you doing?
It's a beautiful name.
Hmm.
So I want to talk about what's going on with Dee Dee because
Okay, sure. Go
I
ahead.
think I think there is something. So what do you guys
Go for
think?
it, girl.
Okay, so I got a theory. I got a theory. So oh, he's did open chat. He's a brave soul tonight. Okay, so my theory with personally, I don't think Dee Dee lost her job. I don't think she lost her job. They're not kicking out 20-year veterans for a couple of phone calls. Okay. I think that um, she's probably instructed or they've come up with a plan to tell people that when they call, oh, is so and so there? They just say she doesn't work here anymore. So she has some peace at work. I don't think they fired that lady because they can't replace her. You can't replace people like that. 20-year people that have been there 20 years are damn hard to replace. Okay. Now, unless she has had some kind of serious infraction, which is possible because she has a crackhead living in her home, then but I doubt it. I doubt it very, very much. That's just me. I don't know. I
I
believe,
agree.
yeah.
I agree, but think about it. They're up at all times at night doing all kinds of silly things, for not calling it something else. How productive can you be in your work at a normal time when you're having this person that's living with you
Mm-hmm.
up at all crazy times of the night, cooking, whatever it is they're doing, if they're doing something else, allegedly, whatever the case may be? Truly, wouldn't you see a change in productivity, maybe a slacking on the things that you have to do at work? I would imagine that something is up. And add to that the fact that they may have people calling into her work. And I'm not encouraging that. Please don't ever do that. Keep this on the internet. But there's people out there that are taking it upon themselves to make,
Mm-hmm.
making calls, track people. They do it. So
They
imagine
do.
her boss maybe thinking, oh, what's going on? And maybe stumbling upon a video. It could be crazy, but it's the reality they're living right now. They're putting themselves out there. And with
Facts.
the things that she's sitting there while he is making these comments. And if you see him,
Right?
he looks at her for,
Oh,
I don't know, like maybe she's agreeing with him behind the camera. We don't see her because she's been hiding forever. He
mm-hmm.
looks at her every time he makes a comment.
You're
It's only
right.
the two of them sitting in there.
You're right.
Something has to be up.
The
Yeah.
internet teaches everyone is replaceable. Facts also.
And I've been married to my husband for 34 years, 35 years, 35 years. And he would never do this. But if he made any kind of comment supporting feminine genital mutilation, sorry, I can't, all big words, he would just be out of the house with whatever he had on. So
Okay.
I
Like, you're
mean,
out of here.
that's just not, that's not okay in any form, fashion, place, anything. It's
And
just
you
not
know
okay.
what? You know what? What if you're right? What if her employer was sitting there and she saw Nader saying that and Dee Dee just sitting there not saying a word?
Absolutely.
That would change my opinion of
That's
my
kind of my
coworker.
point. Is if you saw that, because number one, if anybody associated one of the employees with somebody who had set through something like that, they would have to let you go. I mean, they would have to kick you to the curb
And
because
yeah, especially if she has to deal with money and things like that, it's sensitive. So that you have to make sure certain people, like, they can't have substance abuse issues because they control a lot of resources or a lot of money. Oh, these are all interesting. But here's my theory as far as like Dee Dee, Chantal, and Nader. But now it's evolving because you guys made some really good points. Okay, so here's my theory. Okay, I do think that about 70% of this whole thing is scripted. What I think was not scripted was Dee Dee sliding in the way she did. But after she slid in, she got on the payroll. You know what I mean? And then they said, okay, let's use it for content, right? Nader was enjoying the boost to his ego. Chantal still believed she was the main chick, but Nader started to realize I can have two, really. So he kind of went off script, like the whole thing with the underwear, him hanging up her clothes. I think he went off script. I think that was, everybody was applauding that because they're like, oh my God, he's reading her so good. He's got the underwear up. It was a show, right? But they never stopped talking, right? So I think Nader just wanted to get out of the shithole he was living in. And that's why he moved with Dee Dee, because he tried to move in with Chantal failed, right? That failed. So he moved in with Dee Dee, and like Chantal just, is floundering in
lost.
that. So, but what I think is really happening right now is the Dee Dee Nader collab is kind of crumbling. And so either Nader is trying to do this whole thing with Chantal, like get his, I mean, this is the week he gets paid, right? Right? Isn't this the week she pays him?
You mean like what do you mean? Like she like
No, because
Foodie
he
Beauty?
hasn't been paid yet.
Yeah, she hasn't been paid and she seems to
Mm-mm.
be hurting for money.
Till
It's
the
the 22nd.
The 22nd.
Yeah, everybody around the world, if you're a YouTuber, gets paid from the 22nd to the 26th. Typically, I've seen I'm always getting paid on day 2 of that range, which is
Okay.
the 22nd. And that seems to be happening to other creators that are Canadian that I know of, as well as Foodie Beauty. So I'm going to get paid on the 22nd. That's when Nader will also get paid.
Okay. So all of that to say, his support system is crumbling.
Absolutely.
Chantal doesn't have the resources anymore.
Not
and
at all.
Dee Dee is like, either her job is gone or she's just sick of his shit. And now I think Nader is freaking out because he
Well,
still got to
Yeah,
eat his drugs.
honestly,
I've
I
been saying
think that he is sick of his garbage, whether or not she's lost her job. I think she's just sick as everything. And one of the best things that one of the trolls said tonight in his live stream was, this one person kept saying, "You have got to take my calls, Nader. I'm pregnant and I have HIV."
What? Wait a minute, huh?
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
And it was like she was trying to bait him like he had caused both problems. And I thought that was to me beyond trolling. But
Yeah. Oh boy.
Too much. Yeah,
But
I've been
yeah,
saying it for a while. Dee Dee has been upset, and I don't know if it kind of times with Nader allegedly seeing Foodie Beauty for that hotel, rendezvous, whatever they did. I don't even remember last weekend, whenever it was. When he came back, she was all like, "Oh, I'm going out with the girls." Remember that whole thing that was pointless. Nobody needed to know that she was going out with her girls by herself, but they made it a point to put it in there in the video. Then she came back. She was pissed. I cannot tell whether it's just pissed because she got sick, because clearly they're both coughing and sniffling and whatnot.
Right.
There was a stream and again, I don't watch him. I happen to be watching Miss I forgot her name. I'm sorry, Miss Fitz, whatever her name is. And in one of
Miss
their streams,
Bill,
it was like, yes, thank you, Hippies. I appreciate it. So she was just very distant. She didn't want anything to do with
She
it. She was
was.
very like, you could sense it. And I know this is silly to say, but you can
You
sense that she
could.
wanted
You could.
nothing to do with him and the whole life. And almost like, oh, we got to do this, and I got to be here. And I have to sit here and listen to this man and just pretend. That's essentially what it felt like. So whether she lost the job, whether she was upset that he had seen allegedly Chantal, or whatever else might have happened, I think it continues to be. She has just not, continued to read the chat, which was, I guess, the highlight for some people. The fact that they could talk to her, because he's just so hard to watch. To be honest with you,
Yes.
he just stands there and cooks. He doesn't even address the comments. Doesn't even speak. I mean, it's really hard to watch him. So again, I think, Andrea, I think, like you mentioned, there are a lot of things that have transpired since this whole saga started, and it's kind of hard to tell where things fell apart for whether or not there's a script. I think Nader had a plan, but I think, wasn't Chantal looking for a house for them? And
Hmm.
yeah,
something must have
yeah,
happened where
would.
something crumbled,
She
because I
doesn't have
know,
credit.
yeah, and
She doesn't.
Chantal said, "Well, I'm not leaving. Yeah, I'm not leaving Pete." So again, Nader nor her could go on their own. So, like you said, Andrea, he needed to find somebody else.
Hmm.
Yeah, but see, at this point, if Chantel and Pete's even wanted to go somewhere, they couldn't because Pete's doesn't have anything anymore. I mean,
She
there
tanked
is
his
no
credit.
financial foundation underneath any of these people to be able to get housing or credit or anything. It's just sad.
Right, right. Like, how is Nader's credit situation? I don't think it's good, especially with the transient type of working he has. I'd also like to go back to what Andrea was saying. The situation with Dee Dee, it could also be possible that she has been suspended as per an investigation at work. That is also possible. Maybe they are investigating all these allegations that have come through, either by email or telephone, about certain things that she has been involved with, either directly or indirectly.
Hmm.
That is also possible.
It's very possible, and it's really, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine having a crack. I mean, we know he's on some hard drugs. I'm gonna call him a crackhead because he's a piece of shit. I can't imagine just letting a crackhead live up in my house. Like Dee Dee, her mom is staying in a very nice living facility, and
Absolutely.
I can't,
That place is
you know,
amazing.
I don't know where their money came from, but I'm sure someone worked hard for it. Somebody worked hard for it, and yeah, she's not a victim, so she's taking her family's um, whatever,
Their resources and
yeah,
then
whatever
putting it
their
toward this
resources
man.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're putting it in this asshole who doesn't even treat you like a human being. He doesn't see you as a human being.
Doesn't even want to work.
Doesn't even want to have a job. Like where I'm from, my dad taught me, like, if he doesn't work, if he doesn't have at least one job. See, my dad had his own business and he had other jobs. So my dad taught me, if he doesn't have a job, he ain't shit, and don't you be with him. Don't even look at him. He is not qualified. And this woman has basically given up her life so this fool can sit in her house all day. For what? There are other employed men out there that you could be talking to. And so I don't understand it. I don't get it. And somebody that just seemed to have such a stable existence before she slid into the Chantal verse, it is crazy. But that's crumbling. That is crumbling. Chantal's resources aren't as stable as they were before, even though she's ordering steak dinners and shit, throwing it in the garbage. Um, It's crumbling. But I think Nader's whole modus operandi from the start, because he came after Pete's. Get away from Pete's. Get Pete's out of the house. Why are you living with Pete's? He was trying the whole time to get out of his apartment from where he was. He hated living where he was living in Gatineau. So he tried to separate Foodie and Pete's, but Foodie realized, I don't have anything without Pete's. I can't get what I want without Pete's. And so, that did not work. And so he found Dee Dee. And that worked. But now it's like Dee Dee's like,
I'm done.
yeah.
Bye.
You
So
can
I
only hope that she's done. I do truly hope that she is.
hope she's done.
Whether she's done or not, she put herself in the worst
She
possible
did.
situation at the worst possible time. He legally lives there. He can say many things to keep himself living there for as long as possible. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm
It
actually
is.
watching it play out in real time because I've heard people do shit like this. I've heard all the stories. Oh yeah, he got a letter sent to my place, so he legally showed the judge of the tenant board that he lives there because he had this letter that he sent
Oh
right
my
away. And the
God.
judge is like, all right, well, he lives there. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to give him 6 months to a year. You got to do this. I'm like, OMG. Okay. You playing with fire there, Dee Dee.
Yeah.
You
And
knew exactly what he was
that's what
about.
I, having credit, would say, well, I'm moving. You don't have to move, but I'm going to move. And I'll take me and my credit. Hey, Natural Ginger. And I'll take all of my resources and get the hell out of there. I can't fathom being in that situation. Am I the only person that thinks this is crazy as hell?
No, this is absolutely crazy. There's no way.
But she knows what kind of man he is. And she just let this fool slide up in her house. I'm like, girl, you could have found you somebody with 2 cars and a house. And I don't get it.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
And
But
that's not what's important. But I'm saying the man that has 2
Right.
cars in a house probably hasn't stabbed 2 people. That's what I'm trying to say.
it hasn't stabbed.
I'm not saying
Well,
just go
no,
for
now
stuff.
those rich people, they do those kind of things. So,
They do. They do. We
yeah.
know this.
But the thing is we have all thought that Foodie Beauty's weight was going to take her out or whatever. I think that last piercing's going to take her out. As soon as that sepsis runs to her brain, I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm sorry. You don't do that. She didn't even say. She kept saying, "I'll call the piercing people," and I'm like, "What the fuck? You're in your car. Go to the piercing place."
Exactly. Go there and let them look at it. She is so anti going to a professional. Like, you went and got it pierced. Let them look at it.
But you know what? They told her how to take care of it. She said, they gave me everything that I need. She has been flying high so much lately. She hasn't
Yes.
taken care of that thing. She said herself, oh, I'm supposed to be cleaning it. So and so. She even said she had to clean her CPAP strap because he wasn't clean and he was touching it.
Oh,
It is infected because of her own doing. She
Yes.
has been doing this to herself.
I mean, we could start a pool. Like, what's gonna take out Chantal? I mean, she's gonna survive it all. She's gonna survive it all, people. Chantal ain't never gonna die. I agree. I agree with Yaba. She ain't never
yeah,
gonna die.
that's what Yaba says. She ain't ever Foodie Beauty White. She ain't ever gonna die.
She ain't never gonna die. The bombs are gonna drop and her ass is gonna make it. Okay, it's gonna be the zombie apocalypse, and Chantal's ass is gonna make it. She's not gonna die. Like,
No.
So I think what's happened. The reason, okay, we were watching the stream with her driving around today, and you remember when she was just like talking like random stuff, like, and nobody was super chatting her, and she was just like, I'm sad because my cat's old and it's gonna die. And then Monty was like, well, take your damn cat to the vet. This is not deep if that's what you're worried about. And then she's just said, oh, this would be a great place for OnlyFans. And I'm like, what? Is this her stream of consciousness or is this going somewhere? It's like she was literally driving on that road, and it was very obvious that she was thinking about something else, but she was just saying a bunch of crap, you know? Have you seen the show For My Man? Dee Dee is desperate for a man. So there's, I have not seen that show. I need to see that show because that sounds like trash I would watch. Just so I
Thank
can
you, Lee.
thank you.
We're all gonna have to do that. Monty, you should figure out how to do one of those stream things where we can all watch it at the same time.
Hippie used to watch this.
Oh, yeah, like a streaming party on Twitch.
Yes, with
Sure.
Amazon Prime or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
that
be
sounds like a good
hysterical.
idea. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that suggestion, Hippiesta.
Now, Monty, I have a quick question. I'm curious. So in Canada, I know in the US it's kind of hard once you have a record to get a job because, especially violent related um, offenses. How is it in Canada? Because I know you guys are very
It's the
private with things
same.
that happen,
Yeah, but employees still can look it up. There's a company called Backcheck that will
right?
look at people's records, and most of the time it comes up. Sometimes it actually doesn't. So I've heard of
Gotcha.
a lot of circumstances where guys are working in places that for some reason they shouldn't be working there, because I did talk about this at the one specific hospital I worked at. There was a guy who used to slang the yayo, and he was working there. I'm
No.
like, yo, why are you working here? And he's like, yo, that whole back check thing, they never check. Because people apply here and they think they're 100% gonna check. They never check. That's why I'm working here. And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so Nader would probably have limited options, but he makes it sound like he's friends with all these restaurant owners, and he can have this job and that job. Now he's going to be a personal chef, which, by the way, Chantal is looking for one, so go figure. So I
Imagine
don't know, it's just, to me, yeah, definitely we know that he has it easier with the way he's been doing things with these
we
women.
see.
Like you said, they both,
Mhm. We see the same behavior
yeah,
across
they
the board.
both have put
Delusions of
themselves.
grandeur.
that.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep,
We
and they
see that
both
with
have put themselves
Roman.
in that situation. Yeah. And I think they have a lot of resources, both of them, because even people are all say like, "Oh, Dee Dee doesn't have a car." You don't need to have a car to walk away. You don't need to have. She looks like she has a good family support. And again, I'm not bashing. I know there's a lot of different situations, but in this particular situation, I'm gonna have to agree with Monty and Andrea. EPS. I don't see why she, especially Dee Dee, would put herself in that situation. You would have to be blind not to see, what's going on. So we'll see. He said he's only going to stay how long? Did he say a time frame, or did he just say for a little bit that he was
He
just going to
says
stay with
He
Didi?
said for a little bit, for a few days, but who actually would believe that he was going to stay
I
for a few
didn't.
days?
I didn't believe it. I said he's in there. He's
Right,
in
exactly. He's going to
there.
stay there as long as he can. He ain't paying no rent.
Mm-mm.
Time
He's
and
there until she kicks him to the curb, and she's probably going to have to get cops to kick him to the curb.
That's the unfortunate reality. They're gonna have to go through a legal proceeding to get him out
Yeah,
of there now.
exactly. Yeah, he lives there. Exactly. He legally lives there now. Like, that's
And
so
if the
idiotic it
pandemic
is.
swells again, if the pandemic swells again, they're not even gonna entertain it unless it's a criminal situation. And
Yeah,
I don't know
and the
I don't know how
pandemic.
it is in Canada, but there's like a more where I live, there's a moratorium on evictions. So
Mm-hmm.
landlords can't landlords
Just boot
cannot
you out.
evict anybody because of the public health crisis. Um, and so unfortunately, unless unless there is a crime, they can't here they couldn't remove him. So um he's already climbing on countertops and stuff. I was like, hell no. Like,
oh my
no.
God, I saw that. I
I
was
was
like,
like,
are
can
you
you get up
kidding
on the
me?
counter with his shoes on? Didn't take off his shoes or nothing. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was just, I'm like, Dee Dee, you're bigger than him. You could pull him down from there. This is
And
unnecessary.
I have to say, her place is very small, but oh my gosh, I would kill to have that if I was a single woman. That's a
It's nice. It's very
nice
nice.
place, nice kitchen, granite countertops. very well put together. I don't know what she's having to pay. It may be horrible being in Montreal. It may be, more than a mortgage. I don't know, Monty. But it's a really nice place, and he's
Hopefully
just
she
moved himself
owns.
right.
Yeah, hopefully she owns that place. But yeah, what can I say? Montreal used to be on the cheaper side before, but lately the prices have shot up like all around the island because of a lot of people are moving away from Toronto or Vancouver or any other those high population areas and coming to Montreal, but more like North Shore, South Shore, and Cornwall. Like I've discussed this many times, a lot of people are moving from Ottawa and from Montreal and going to Cornwall or the smaller cities like South Shore, Montreal, North Shore, Montreal, and living there.
Well, Foodie Beauty just gave us a whole tour of Cornwall today. So if any of us want to go move there, we know of several different apartments and roads and restaurants. And so I think we've had our real estate agent show us everything we need to know.
That was weird, wasn't it?
And we got
Yikes.
to
It
see
was bizarre.
a whole 2 minutes of a trail that she showed us because she just can't stand her own way. I know people encourage her and she should be encouraged, but it's like she doesn't move in the house. You see how she does the dishes, you see how she eats. She's sitting all the time. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can see where she can even she must have been in so much pain. She walks, she has to go back and sit right away. It's sad.
It is
She
sad.
moved her butt in Cuba. She moved her butt all over the place. So I'm
She
not
had no
sure.
choice.
But the
Well,
hotel
she had
room,
no choice. Did it.
she's living in squalor. And I think, and I've said it before, like her whole mood would change if she would just help, get somebody to help her clean her place. And I think it was so much easier for her to move around because she didn't have the clutter and the filth to wade through. She didn't have the smell. She didn't have the box mountains. And she did go for a walk today. That's right. She did. But I wonder what can we talk about that? Like where'd that come from? What inspired that walk?
She was just waiting around for Natty to call, and he never did.
But
Yeah, it looked
so
like she
she just
was waiting.
suddenly said, I want to go for a walk.
No, she was just killing time. She's trying to find something to do that would make her. She's trying okay,
I knew
Andrea.
it was for views, but I was just like,
Yeah,
well,
for
this
views,
is
but
what
not
you
for views, but for super chats. She's trying
Yeah.
yes,
everything she can do for super chats, and
yes.
she ain't getting them. Absolutely, she ain't getting them. So
My cat is
no,
dying.
on the
Yeah,
super
Andrea.
chat.
I'm freaking out. My cat is dying.
She was trying to pull every single trick
I
out of
had
her
to
bag,
abortion.
and
Oh, good Lord, she did everything.
people
She
weren't
did
buying it.
everything.
Yep. She even tried to go for the walk and it didn't work out. She's like,
Look at
I'm
me, I'm
going back to my
walking.
car.
Girl, stop.
I'm gonna drive back the same way I came in.
It was a lot. She was doing a lot. I was just it was but what I wanted to mention was she turned around to make it seem like she was going back to Ottawa. Have we confirmed that she went back to
Yeah,
Ottawa?
yeah, she was back doing a dinner beezing. Same thing, wasting about an hour and a half of people's time, talking all sorts of nonsense after driving to Cornwall for no reason, not even seeing family member, not even like staying in her car and be like, "Hey, can I see you by the door and we'll say hi," or chit chat for a little bit. It's like, why would you drive all that way to wait around for a phone call and then drive all the way back to Ottawa? Waste of gas, didn't even see
Wait,
family. I could never do that.
I could never do that. If I know my
And
mom is right there, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
at
you're
the
gonna go
house.
there.
Like
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
really
but not
incredible.
not if she really thinks she has the COVID. I wouldn't have done that. But she
She
bought all that
spread it
food at
around
the
everybody else.
yeah, but she bought all that food at the beginning of all of this, and then she had to drive all the way back with it with all this other mess in between. That's some nasty food right now. I'm sorry, especially the salads. A salad, some, your proteins and veggies and whatnot, you can warm up in the microwave. But a salad is just going to wilt like crap. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
garbage. If it gets warm anyway.
and it was expensive. Everything she does is expensive, but it was expensive, and it sounded like really good food. And she is eating it tonight. She was. So I don't know if Pete's did, because Pete's didn't like his cold steak. Well, why didn't you go put it in the freaking microwave or ask Chantel to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the other thing that
that was
bothers me.
infuriating.
I
That's
can't imagine
wasteful. But
making a
again,
steak.
she does nothing for, I mean, the way she makes money, I hate to say this, she doesn't think about how she spends it. And that's
Oh
truly
no.
something that
Mm-mm.
bothers me. She and Pete's and them, they don't care, and people keep giving them money. And I'm glad some people are kind of waking up at this time, and maybe it's coming to a close. But so many people struggling these days, and again, she's in this mindset of like, this is my life, I do whatever I want with it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, guess what, you're in a public platform, people are seeing you, you ought to do something, I'm sorry, to help other people, especially when you have all these, I don't know, awakening moments, and you start talking about how, oh yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but you do nothing, you have nothing to show for, you're just trying to get on people's pockets
Facts.
by doing nothing.
Facts.
Look at all these
Facts.
other revenues she was trying to get when her channel got taken. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
it came back, she stopped doing what she said she was going to do, because it's easier for her just to sit her butt down and do nothing. And I'm sorry, it bothers me because I grew up in a modest family. You didn't eat your food, guess what, you're going to eat it later for lunch or for dinner, because there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
money
there's
to
no
Breakfast
waste,
waste.
in
no food to
the
waste.
morning.
There's no wasting
There's
food.
people around in the world that don't even have access to food. And it really, it really irritates me. And that's one thing that, of the many that I don't like about Chantal and her clan. It's just something, it has no excuse in my eyes.
It has no
Well,
excuse.
it's not only that. There are people in the world right now who don't even have shelter, have lost children, and are being freaking blown up. So, you know, her not eating her food, that's just beyond the pale at this point.
Oh, and pretending she can't taste it. She's just eating for hours. It seems like she ate for hours. And I can't taste it. Oh, thank you for my lakmas. And she's just, she's
Oh
just,
God, that Lockman mess was so gross. I
she's just
mean,
depending on uh, people to give her money. And I found it was very sad. I'm not gonna lie, it was very satisfying to see that people are not super chatting her the way they used to. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but after her Cuba bees, anybody that gives her money is absolutely disgusting to me. Like you're giving that money, really? So it's just, I used to not care. Like people find her entertaining and they give her money. That's their choice. But after Cuba, it just seems like, wow, y'all really like her. She can't do any wrong. She can't do any wrong to some people. But I do think the money has slowed down for now, at least. These last couple of lives, anyway. So maybe, I mean, I don't know if she's ever going to be appreciative of the food that she has in front of her. I would like for her to be hungry, like actually hungry, and actually not know where the food is coming from. You would appreciate your food. After you've been like really hungry, you don't waste your food.
Yeah.
You don't. And I mean, I'm so grateful that, you know, we're not where we used to be. Me and my family, we don't waste food. Like we might be so freaking lazy, like, man, we're gonna order some food. But we have a whole kitchen back here. We cook our food, but we have the option to order food. But we've been hungry. So we're not,
Right.
I mean, we are appreciative of the fact that we can order food and get our nails done. And we're not begging anybody to do it. You know what I mean? But Chantal is just, man, Chantal is like on another level. But I think,
yep.
you know, I think Nader
Today was
supports Crumbling, and that makes me happy.
Yep, today was begging day. She begged and begged and begged, and people still weren't. It wasn't happening. And let me tell you, Andrea, I love your kitchen. I'd be cooking back there all the time. That's a nice kitchen.
Well, I mean, it's an apartment, but you're
I don't
welcome to
care.
come
It's still a
visit.
nice kitchen. It's a nice apartment.
You can come cook if you stuck. Come on, if you cooking,
Well, I'm not that far. I'm just in Texas, so yeah,
come
I
on
could.
down.
Right? Just star 864 says, how the F is String Bean gonna be a chef when he's constantly coughing? Exactly. You're
I
gonna be a
mean,
private chef when you're coughing all the time over their food. I think they're gonna be slighted with you being their head chef, coffee all the time, all over their food. I mean,
how is he gonna? He can't. Nader, I mean, I'm still stuck on the raw chicken, and he was eating that stuff. I was like, boy, you better stop. Like, you were really, I couldn't believe like he was gonna power through it. Everybody was telling him that chicken was not done, and he was like, it's fine. You don't know, I know, I'm a chef, I know everything. And it's, I'm like, okay. Like, no, you ain't cooking, you don't get to boil water in my kitchen ever.
Yeah,
This is
we have a wonderful, here in Texas we have HEB, which is a wonderful grocery store, but they have specialty stores called Central Markets, and they have chefs. Like when a new chef comes out with a cookbook, I've done classes with Alton Brown. I've done classes with
I'm
whoever,
jealous.
David Rosenberg. I mean, anybody it's just anybody. When I can and I have money, they're not cheap
Yeah.
because you're paying and you get to eat a meal when you're doing it, but you're also cooking the meal with them. And I have to brag, I got to use a whole truffle once. Just bragging.
I'm
Yes, I
jelly.
know. Yeah, I
I'm
know.
Yum.
I know.
jealous.
Never would be able to do that if I had to pay for it on my own. Okay. But, the stuff that he does, I mean, we were told if you're coming up here and you're going to cook in the kitchen, these are the safety things you're going to do. And I've even volunteered to wash the dishes in the back so I could be there for the cooking so it wouldn't cost me anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you ought to see what you have to do just to wash the freaking dishes. I mean, it's amazing. And none of this happens. And the fact that none of these people are dead from eating this food is just,
It's
boggling
amazing.
my mind. Yeah.
But Chantal was never gonna die. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, y'all, but don't you ever die.
Don't you ever die,
We don't
Chantal.
want Chantel
But
to ever
Dee
die.
Dee, maybe she's probably used to some well prepared food, and she's probably like, well, what is this? And Nader doesn't even try to put the recipes in his chat. He never gives any measurements. He just he can't articulate what the hell he's doing. And so I was just kind of like, how are you gonna communicate with the other cooks in your kitchen? You can't communicate. If you can't communicate what you're doing, how do you tell a cook prep this for this many minutes or do this for that many minutes? Like, if you're a chef, you have to communicate. You're the top dog. So,
exactly.
like, what the hell? And he's gonna open his own restaurant? I'm like, you burn
Also, if
everything.
you're the head chef of a restaurant, you not only have to know how to communicate with the other chefs in the kitchen, you have to know business. You have to know how to buy the products at the cheapest prices, at the best products, to be able to make a profit for the person who owns the restaurant.
Well,
And
nobody's gonna pay for those dishes because they're gonna be burnt and they're gonna send it back.
well, okay, but I don't think he has a clue. So there, I'm just saying that's my, you know.
Yeah, he said in one of his last streams that he was in a cooking channel, that he didn't have to share the ingredients and this and that. And he's just so smug lately that I think people are getting tired of it. And even those who enjoyed it, if they even enjoyed his cooking or wanted to replicate any of his recipes, it's like he's made it a point to kill every single opportunity of a viewer that he could have in his channel,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of them. So I agree with the chat they've been saying. I think it's quite the few last days of his channel for sure.
He's he's incredible, and he has. I mean, he has this nasty ass attitude, this nasty way of talking to people when they ask him questions, and it's like they are just asking you questions. They can do that, you know, and just ever since the violence towards women and just being an outright asshole to homosexual people in general, trans people in general, just f him. Like, oh yeah, BB. Okay, BB Chantal made BB do a video because she was like, I was craving this, and BB said he would do it for me, and he taught us how to cook, and it was great. He explained everything. He gave us measurements and everything, and I said, wow, I know how to make this now. Thanks, BB. And I mean, to be quite honest, all Chantal ever wanted to do was have BB on her channel so she could have her couples channel finally. And one thing BB did was he could cook competently, and everything that came out of the kitchen when he was involved, it did look delicious and edible because I still remember the mafe. I don't know where I would find that video now on that channel, but that mafe was on point. It looked on point.
Yeah,
Yep, it
exactly.
did. And they even said where they got the ingredients. Because that's
Yeah,
Yeah, he explained
that
everything.
isn't just a thing you can just go out to your Kroger's and buy your ingredients.
I think he made chicken one time, Hannah Green. I think he also like cooked chicken too. He made mafe, and another time he made chicken. He was miserable.
he
Yes,
cooked it.
he was very miserable, but he did it. But I think I think Nader is. I'm hoping he's on his way out. I really
I'm
hope
there
he's.
with you. I'm there with you, Andrea. It has to stop, and the whole um, comments about violence, and it's too much. It's out of line, and I hope YouTube takes action.
I saw one clip where he was talking about Mo. He was talking about like, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I don't know what you are. I'm like, why does that matter? Why does it matter what Mo translates is? What are you?
Oh, it bothers him because if it's a woman, if he has the certainty it is, he's gonna punch where he thinks it hurts because he just has this
Mhm.
narrative against women, and so it bothers him because he talks to women differently than what he talks to men. If you notice when he was talking about or doxing one of his mods, he was
Mhm.
talking to her in one way, but when he was addressing the husband, call me. Why don't you say what you want to tell the husband? What is different? What do you need to talk to the husband? He just it's that mentality of I'm a macho man, I'm gonna address the man in a different way. So I think in a way he was trying to make a point like, what are you? Like how should I address you? And that's also very telling of his character.
It is very telling of his character. I wouldn't be surprised if he can't go home because there's a man waiting to f him up. I mean, look what he did. Look what he did when he got to Canada. He stabbed two people because he said they were trying to hurt him. I don't think that's true. I don't buy that. Like you don't do time for self-defense. You don't. You don't do time for self-defense. If two people are trying to jump me and I fight back, I might be held, but I'm not going to be prosecuted. So whatever his story is, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And
All
it
right.
just
So there's a lot of people asking a lot of questions. Two people got slashed. It was his ex and her cousin. Some altercation happened. They were both there, a confrontation, and Nader stabbed both of them. He stabbed the cousin, a male, twice, and his ex girlfriend once, which was Delphine, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Delphine. And it's very sad that that happened, but I have no idea what the circumstances was. But as Andrea says, the cops might hold you, the cops might, investigate, but at the end of the day, if they truly believe it was self-defense, they are not gonna continue to prosecute you. So the fact that he got a conviction means a lot, is all I will say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah. Is he refugee status? That's what is confirmed by Foodie Beauty, if that means anything, that he is indeed a refugee. um and I've talked about the whole refugee thing. Try, if you're trying to be a citizen, it's 5 or 6 years depending on certain factors, but he caught a case before he could, turn citizen, and this is where he's at right now. Did he strike my channel? Yes, he did. If you look, I'll bring it up again. Right there, it says video unavailable. This video is unavailable due to a copyright claim by Nader El Shami. Is that even his real name? I don't even think that's even his real name still,
His
because
whole life is a scam.
yeah, I think El Shami actually means from Levantine. I've said this a multitude of times. I really don't believe that's his last name. So even doing that is something.
So you think his chef certificate is false too? Because he says Nader El
It's
Sami
you
on it.
could get that in a day. That
He
ain't
probably
nothing to
printed
Right,
get.
out
right.
in Microsoft
Yeah,
Word.
yeah, they ain't not gonna get. I could get that right now. I took a class for a day, and then I get to put whatever name on it that I want to put on it. It's not like they're checking IDs. You just answer multiple choice questions, maybe watch a video or two.
I need to see transcripts of his.
Yeah.
I want to meet the person that trained him because he is burning everything, sir. Ma'am, sir, he's burning everything.
Including himself. He
Everything.
burnt himself today.
Yeah, he's
He
burning
was
fruit.
cooking.
How do you?
Yeah.
I'm like, you burned fruit, sir. You burned fruit. Stop. Get some
Right.
help.
Exactly.
No, I mean, exactly. It's a food handling. It no Ashley Eaton. I didn't see Mo's latest comments. What are the latest comments? Yes, he burned fruit. He made some kind of cake that's supposed to be pineapple upside down cake. And Southern Americans, we were all offended. We were offended. We were upset. We were outraged. We were like, "What the hell is that? What is that?"
Yep, doesn't take a much to make a pineapple upside down cake. And it certainly doesn't take much to eat one. Love that stuff. So there you go.
He burned it. The
I
fruit was
know.
everything was burnt. I was just like,
Hmm.
to
He
be fair,
burnt it
I don't
his
know if
way.
what I was looking at was supposed to be pineapple upside down pineapple cake. I just saw the top of it was burnt. He said it was cake, and it could have been anything. I couldn't tell what it was. It was burnt. I was like, "That's your cake. It's burnt." You have to take your food out of the oven before that happens. Like, what are you doing?
Right, exactly. Curl Connections asked me, will I fight the strike? I already did. I put in a claim right away before this live stream started. A counterclaim, I should say. So we'll see what happens with that one. But yes, I already put in a counterclaim on my main channel. This is my second channel, but we'll see what happens.
And as a person who cooks, can he not smell? Because if something's burning,
It's burning.
You got the powder nose, the cookie nose. You know about that, right? That's when
no,
you lose.
no, Aunt Monty, I don't know about that. I know that he does, but no, I don't.
He needs to say, "I don't know about that. Don't know."
Right. All right. Well, I think his olfactory senses are kind of shot right now.
Well, if it is, then there is no way he can be a true anything. It cook, chef, line cook, I don't care what. If you cannot smell your food and taste your food, what you're giving to the people out at the tables has got to be utter garbage. There you go.
Somebody said he eats the stinky food. Is that natural ginger? Of course.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I
Oh
I
boy.
I mean, and to be fair, I think half the time Dee Dee is just saying she likes it. There's no way she can find that stuff appetizing. No, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's just saying it to make him feel good, to stroke his ego. And I'm hoping that Dee Dee can gently nudge herself out of the situation. If she has to leave,
I don't think so, Andrea.
you
To
don't
be
think so?
on all honesty, like the more times people face a certain situation, typically the better they learn how to handle it the next time. Remember how I showed the whole thing in 2014 when he went before the judge about the eviction because he was squatting basically at
He's
a friend's
evolved, is
place.
what you're saying.
Yeah, like he knows how to handle a situation if this comes around again,
Hmm.
exactly what to do. So, with his experience, his wealth of experience of not paying rent, staying at people's homes when he's unwelcome or worn out his welcome, he has learned how to work the system, is all I'm going to say. So,
As criminals do.
yeah, so she's gonna be in for a world of trouble. Don't say we didn't warn her. Everybody practically did, and she still went ahead with it. So she's gonna have to learn a hard ass lesson.
Yeah. I I do wonder what the new attitude is about. She's really quiet. She's not saying anything. She's not participating, and he's seeking some kind of validation from her. He's seeking, like, he's looking at her like, is it okay? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
wonder what
approval look.
Chantal is feeling, because I mean,
Well,
if not as smart, he's not going to leave Dee Dee's house.
no, absolutely. And CM Cakes, I don't know where you're from, but Andrea, I know you said you're from Tennessee. If he tries to make gumbo or something like that, I think we all ought to strike his channel
For scams,
for
lies.
absolutely not knowing what you should even put in it.
I mean, his
It's
meatloaf,
always his way.
it's always his way, right?
That's how he gets away with it.
Yeah,
He beats
gumbo
that.
ain't his way. Gumbo is
Yeah.
our way.
I'm Puerto Rican originally, but I live in Florida. I've lived in Florida for quite a few years.
Hmm.
But y'all have the okra and the gumbo and the all of that. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
For sure. We'll
And
call him
Lord
out on
help
it for
us.
sure.
Lord
I'm
help us if he tries to make cornbread.
I haven't seen I haven't seen him do anything competently. I haven't seen I don't even think that's the right way to make baba ganoush. I haven't seen
Oh,
him do anything.
he
He's
said that.
everything burnt.
Yeah, he said his baba ganoush is the best. Probably because Chantal said that. But what does she know?
I don't think that's the right way to make it. So I
His
live.
hummus looks okay. I gotta say his hummus looks okay. I wouldn't want to eat it because he made it, and
Well, it's
God
one
knows what
ingredient though.
germs.
Hummus is
Well,
just
you know, it's
That's
a couple of
true.
ingredients,
it's chickpeas and tahini, and you know, I
and
put some spices in
you
mine.
can't burn
So
hummus. You
no,
can't
it
burn it.
doesn't have to be cooked.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Andrea, I understand what you're saying. It doesn't have to be cooked. You're good. Anything you can whiz up in that Nutri blender, we're good to go.
Yes,
NutriBullet.
he loves that thing. That's his. That is his number one tool.
Right.
Business.
Floridea says, look up business. It's an actual way of life in a few parts of the world. I believe it's the only job Nad has ever had. Business refers to love scams. Love scams are called business. So it denotes a form of online confidence trick by scammers create fake identities on singles dating sites and feigning romantic intentions towards victims with a view to obtaining money from them. Business. That's what it means.
Yes, that is Nader.
Yep, pretty much.
He's excelling.
He's excelling. He got
Yep,
his
for
come up.
sure.
He moved out of the trap to Lachine or wherever Dee Dee lives,
In places.
and that I mean he's winning. I guess I just want him off of YouTube. I don't want to see or hear his voice anymore.
Agreed.
And if if a karma truck just wants to roll on over him, that's fine too. It's gross. I
I
mean,
have to laugh out loud. I cannot.
the things that he says about women is just disgusting. And
Did you
if I
see?
were Dee Dee, I couldn't even go to sleep. I wouldn't go to sleep next to that.
Did you now, Hippie? What you said made me think of something. Did you hear when he said, "And what if I go to jail? When I go to jail, I'm gonna be the boss there too, because I was the boss." He didn't deny it and said, he didn't say, "I did nothing wrong. I'm gonna prove I'm innocent. I'm gonna get out
Oh
of
no.
this clear." He said, "And what if I end up in jail? I'm the boss because I was the boss there." I was
I don't.
so pissed
Why
when he
does he
said
think
that.
he's gonna be the boss in jail? I don't get it. Like it makes me laugh. It makes me start thinking like if I was in jail and he was in jail, the stuff like stuff like that. Like, what are you doing? We're in jail.
Delusional.
Okay.
It's
I want us all to not think about jail. None of us are going to jail. Monty, you are not going to jail.
But I'm just saying, if I was in jail and I saw Nader, I'm like, oh my god, that's my next girlfriend, you know? I'm like, that's my girlfriend. I'm like already in jail. I'm like,
sure
okay.
I'm sure that. Yeah.
He's very svelte. He's got that. He's got those hips, swinging those hips.
he wishes.
I mean, if you're there for the duration of your life, like if you're in prison
Right?
and you're there, and a guy
Come
like
on.
Nader comes in, like put some, I just grow the hair out. It's fine, you know. I mean, to be perfectly, I mean, because I've watched prison documentaries, and
Same. Yeah.
you know that's what's gonna go down. He's
Right.
not
Right.
doing easy time. I'm sorry, Natter's not doing, unless he is in a very, very, very. I mean, he did a violent crime, so he's going to maximum security. I don't know how Canada works. That's just my logic. He's going to maximum security, right? So the
Could be
guys
because
out
it's a
there,
second offense.
exactly. They're gonna say, "I'll have him this week. You can have him next week." He's
Okay.
nobody's boss.
I
Okay.
mean, 'cause I'm like,
You're bringing thoughts in my head, Andrea. Like, I'm just still thinking about I'm in jail.
I mean,
Nader's
really,
in
come
jail.
on. I like to think if I went to jail, everybody would fight over me. That's what I want to believe.
Right?
I'm just saying. I'm not.
honestly, if he goes to jail, if all of these people go to jail, I really think this should be the next Netflix documentary on YouTube.
Monty after prison.
No, not Monty. Not Monty. I don't want Monty to go to prison.
Oh,
But I'm just saying that if Chantal, Dee Dee, and Nader go to prison, there should be some kind of YouTube, Netflix documentary saying,
okay.
this is what can happen to you. No. Monty is. I'm giving Monty an A because I'm pretty sure he's too smart for this. If he's not,
Yeah,
then
I was like, okay,
I am
hippie.
totally
What?
misled, and I need to go somewhere else.
I just misunderstood what you said. So the difference between jail and prison, prison is how should I say this? After the judge decides if you go to prison or jail in the US
Sentencing.
at the sentencing. So people that do, like, jail is where they hold you before trial, and prison is where you go after you're sentenced. Like if you get a DUI, they might just hold you in jail because your DUI, the sentencing is going to be like a financial thing. So they'll hold you in jail for like, I'm going to hold you in jail for 45 days, right? But if you do what Nader did and stab 2 people, you go to prison for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So it's like depending upon your offense.
Yeah, if you boil it
Okay,
down, jail is for
I-
short term, prison is for long term.
Right. And
Right.
and I'm sorry. I'm old school. I don't make the distinction jail, prison, you're locked up. You're just locked up. I'm going to just start using lockup as my words because I do know the difference, but in my mind, jail's jail, prison's, they're the same. You're locked up. You're behind bars. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Just Star 864 says he gonna be holding all the pockets. Indeed.
He's gonna have
Holding
a
all the
calendar
pockets.
for so he can know whose pocket to hold. You know, I mean, his delusions. I mean, we all have to believe things about ourselves, you know, and
Mhm.
we want to believe that we're good people. We want to believe that we're adequate people. And I like to think there's something I'm super good at that I can be like, yeah, this is, you know, but Natter's just like, I'm a chef. Like, bitch, you're not a chef. You have burned everything you have attempted to cook. You're not a chef. Look at that and accept it. And like Chantal was trying to tell us about his ego, and we were like, we know. You're trying to tell us, like, we know. I mean, who are you trying to convince? So Nader is sincerely, you know, believing that women are addicted to him because he has, you know, two really, I mean, I've been watching Chantel, so I get Chantel. I don't get Dee Dee at all. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, hippie's definitely bailing Monty out. Like, that's my Monty. Get him out. Get him out of lockup. But it's just, I mean, I don't care how much need you have in the world, girl. He has stabbed two people. And you have to lay. I mean, I'm not going to sleep with Nader in my house. Nader should not even be anywhere near my front door. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, but you see, Andrea, we have a clear vision of who we are and what we want. I think it, I don't want to excuse it, but I think some people just the entanglement, as some people call it, of him saying one version. You heard Chantal how many times she defended him, saying, "Well, he was defending himself. He had to do that. He just what did she say at one point that he pleaded no contest or whatever it was just to get out with it? If you're innocent
He
and
took
you
a plea
haven't done
deal.
anything and you were defending yourself, you're gonna go to bat for that. I mean, unless the evidence was so much that you had no other option. So like I can see it where like he maybe painted a picture to Dee Dee. We just don't know her enough to kind of see and understand.
Well, see, the thing of it is,
So
you stabbed two people. You didn't stab one person. You stabbed
right,
two people. So in my mind, stabbing one person should have been enough to get away. You don't stab everybody up in the place. If you are really defending yourself, like they don't think about it because maybe they've never been in a dangerous situation.
right, right,
He stabbed a man and a woman. So stabbing the other guy who may have posed a physical danger to you, if he had a weapon or something, I get it. But why go stab the other person?
Yeah,
If
totally
you
agree.
exactly.
if you stab one person, that other person is probably not coming after you because they just watched you stab somebody.
Mm-hmm. For
So
sure.
the story doesn't even make sense. Like, even
Right.
I'm as a lay person, I'm not in law enforcement. His story is bullshit. But Dee Dee just seeing what she want to see, I guess. You know what I mean?
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Suzanka has a super chat. She says, "You know how Nader twitches his chest muscles when he takes off his shirt and dances? Imagine that in prison, he will be the most popular boy on his cell block." Thank you for that, Suzanka. I can only imagine. Somebody has said, "Oh, we would hear the story of these two people." Unfortunately, Delphine passed away due to health issues, and it's a very sad story, sad ending to her life. Rest in peace, Delphine. Foodie Beauty did dox her last name, and her Facebook is filled with pictures of her daughter a couple years ago, so I won't share that. But it's very sad for that daughter to be losing a mother
Yeah.
through all these sad circumstances.
Who was the other person, Monty? Was it her brother or a cousin?
Her cousin. And we've heard about that, Gen Puff. Like, Foodie Beauty kept on mentioning, oh, yeah, he abused Delphine. That's why he has court matters because of the Delphine situation still. So, is that other court matters other than the stabbing? Because I thought the stabbing was still is not done and over it because he still is on probation due to the stabbing of the two people. But What else is there that we just don't know about?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. So Hoy, is that how you say it? I mean, yeah. She knew from day one. Nothing was a mystery to her. So, and maybe she doesn't know who she is. CM Cakes. As much as we, as much as we're just looking at her like she's crazy, maybe she has no idea that she could do
Right.
better than him.
And if you can, yeah, and if you can't believe anything Foodie Beauty says, she
Mm-mm.
did mention, hey, her old boyfriend used to treat her bad too. So we never know, what kind of relationships she's been exposed to and things that she's tolerating and so on. But it's sad all throughout. I hope it plays well for all parties and that things come to justice. I'm definitely rooting for this dude because it doesn't deserve any other adjective to get out of YouTube. We're done with his nonsense, and you know, hopefully things turn out well for Dee Dee, for Chantal, in that regard. I have to hop out. Thank you so much, Monty, again for having
Bye,
me
Oh,
over.
No problem,
Thank
CMK. Take care.
Cakes,
Have a
we
good
love
one.
you,
Andrea and
girl, and
Yukista.
we love that cake. That is so
Thank you.
pretty.
Hey, La Krista, welcome back. Haven't
Thank you.
seen you in a while. Bye bye,
bye,
CM
bye,
Cakes.
CM
Bye.
See you
Cake.
around. All
So
right.
when his channel gets yeeted, do we think
It
Chantal's
would
going to help him get another one?
probably.
I mean, she was kind of mad that he had a channel and she platformed him. She did say she regretted doing that. So do we think she's
It
going to help?
depends on where they are in their love life. I'm not calling it that. I can't. In
It's
their hookups, That's all the only thing I can say about it.
mhm,
And I just want to say, and I am a religious, spiritual person.
mhm.
And I don't care what religion, what spiritual, whatever, higher power, you can do whatever. But these people don't have them. And I think that's what the problem is. They don't have any moral compass at
Facts.
all.
I mean, we have the evidence that there's nothing there.
And even Chantel, who looks like she was raised Catholic, I'm not. I'm Baptist. Me and you, Andrea, in the South. But there, she went to a French, I think, Catholic school when she was in uh elementary school. Did she not learn anything? Did she not gain anything? She just doesn't care? I don't know. There's
Well,
but
I mean, I don't know. I don't know as far as that experience, but I think she is looking for fulfillment however she can get it, whether it's food or whether it's, I mean, now don't get me wrong. She definitely wants to be wanted, and she wants to be wanted by a man. She needs that. She needs to be seen as desirable. She needs to be seen as beautiful. I mean, as much as she says that she is, as much as she says, what am I trying to say? As much as
she's
she
not.
says,
She doesn't care. Is that what you're trying to say, Andrea?
yeah, as much as she says she doesn't care about how other people see her, she definitely cares that
Absolutely. That's more than anything
she,
else.
you know what I'm trying to say? She cares about,
Absolutely. No,
if,
that's her number one priority is how she's being seen.
yeah, and from a man. And I think the fact that
Absolutely.
that Nader is with Dee Dee and he is doing things for Dee Dee and with Dee Dee that he doesn't do with her or for her, I think that is making her feel a type of loss and a type of mourning because she wants that. And I get it. I get it. Well, I relate to Chantal on that. I'm just not trying to. I am not going to like what CM Cakes were saying. Like I know who I am, and if you don't see me that way, on to the next one. You know what I mean? I'm not about to debase myself. I'm not about to kiss your ass. I'm not about to kiss your feet. I'm not about to run your drugs. I'm not doing none of that because that's not me.
Amen.
So,
Amen and amen.
so, but I had parents. They taught me the value of money. They taught me, you're not going to waste this food. You're not going to run these streets. You're going to get your education. I had a lot of hands involved in molding my identity. And if I pushed back against that, they let me push back to a point. But in my formative years, I absolutely got butt whoopings. I had to cut switches. I had to do write-offs. I had to read dictionaries. I had a lot of people involved in making sure I wasn't going to act a damn fool. And probably some misdiagnosed mental issues that never got treated. But I think I'm doing all right. But
you are.
That's me in my life. I don't know if Chantal had that, and she craves that, and she needs that. And one thing that I definitely had, I had a dad. Chantal didn't have that.
Okay, and that's true.
And I think that's a big part of why she wants that from Nader. Like, she hates women, but she wants it. I think it's mommy daddy stuff. That's what I don't think it's morals. I don't think it's church. I don't think it's anything. I think it's mommy daddy stuff. I don't think it has anything to do with her spiritual formation as a young person.
She needs to go to a psychiatrist, which she's not doing.
No, she's not doing that. And
even though she says, "Oh, I have this appointment and this appointment," you don't make any of your freaking appointments.
Not one. And I really feel like, yeah, thank you, moms and dads. I sent my mom some flowers today because I know she
absolutely. I tell my mom every day that I am so thankful how they raised me, because I could do and be what I wanted to, and that's how I raised my son. He could do, and again, he has a master's in philosophy, but he does have a good job.
You are mad at that philosophy degree? You are mad. You're like, what the hell did he get a philosophy degree?
He even teaches philosophy at one of the junior colleges as an adjunct. But yeah, no, I always tell everybody, just be careful when you tell your children you can do whatever you want to.
You are mad.
They end up with a master's in philosophy, and there you go.
I bet you tell everybody you see he got a degree in philosophy. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, but he's working in academia. He helps people. Shoot, I can't even think what he does. But he's
helping people. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. He helps the students, and I've gotten letters from people who know me or emails from people who know me that said, "Thank you so much, because your son has helped me get my whole degree." And I'm just like, yeah, that's good. That means more to me than anything. But yeah, no, I always tell everybody that. Yeah.
You raised a man that is contributing, and he's not a sociopath.
Absolutely. He's a good person. And he's married to a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
He's married to a wonderful woman. They own a house. They own a car. They will not be able to have babies. I will not be having grandchildren, but I have grandkitties, and that's fine, because y'all know me and my kitties. And but yes, but it was a lot of hard work. And if people have babies and don't want to put in the work, then please don't have them.
Well, I think Chantal's mom had support. I mean, the uncle was there, right?
Yeah, I think so. But then when she got with the stepfather, that's when it all kind of got strange, and I don't even understand a whole lot of it. All I know is that they put her in the group home, and the group home seemed to all get with each other, and they knew how to get out and do whatever they wanted to, and that's not a bad. And then she went. Do you know how much money probably the Canadians spent on that Katimavit thing that she went on, which should have changed her life forever?
The
Monty,
she talks about Katimavik in a good voice, right?
Yeah. Monty, do you know much about Katimovic?
No, I just know about it. I don't know. It's like you said, hippie. It's supposed to be a life-changing event. It's supposed to give you experience, life experience on multiple levels. That's why you go away for weeks and you volunteer somewhere. But for her, it seems that all she was interested in is partying and boys when
Oh
she was
yeah,
at Katimovic.
yeah. She talks about all the guys that were there that, and it wasn't her peers, it was the guidance counselors, the people who were guiding them along. That's what's even more disturbing. Again, she doesn't mesh in with whatever her age category is. Does that
For
make
sure.
sense?
Yeah, it totally makes a lot of sense. Somebody asked me to explain this striking process. Well, Nader El Shami said, let me look. I can maybe bring it up, but I got a my video taken down saying that I have a strike now. So your first strike is a warning. It's your second and third strike that is a problem. So when you get your first strike, before in the past what they used to do was you'd be out for a week, but a lot of channels complain like that's too harsh, because what if the strike has no basis, then I'm just out for a week. So now what they do is your first strike is a warning, and then any strikes after that will take you out for a week, and then your third strike you get your channel removed, right? So he says that content found during 57 minutes and 41 seconds to 2 hours 60 minutes and 10 seconds in. So you're telling me that I the entire way through I was um doing a copyright violation of like an hour and 20 minutes? No, if I'm reacting to
No.
content, that's just a blatant misuse of the copyright system right there.
So this was a strike and not a claim.
It's a strike because he's saying that I have infringed upon his rights of copyright. So that means that I wasn't using fair use when it came to copyright, which but I was. So that's why I counterclaimed it, and I'll
Wait,
have to wait a few days.
you counterclaimed that you didn't strike him back. Can you strike him?
No, because the counterclaim means that I believe I am within my rights to use
Correct.
the content in a fair manner. It ain't that says if Nader gets mail sent to Dee Dee house, then she should have to evict him out. Yes, indeed, it ain't that because
Mm-hmm.
he would legally live there. So right now we're gonna wait a few days and see how the process goes along. Of course, like what happened to Miss Fields, these are just bullshit things that Foodie Beauty has done before, and that's why she's never actually won except for one time with this whole copyright claim thing. So that's why she doesn't really do it unless she's trying to scare somebody. And
Do
now
you think
Nader is doing it this way, but it's gonna be bullshit. In a couple of days to a week, it's gonna be gone. So he needs to be very careful not to abuse the copyright system because it shouldn't be abused, and he should get a warning for that.
But I know people didn't strike his channel, but reported his channel with that whole nonsense. His whole
Yeah, well, his channel should be
not
reported.
nonsense. His whole horrible, horrible, horrible about feminine mutilation. Uh, uh, because I know I was one of them, so he's probably gonna come get me now since I said that. But people were reporting him left and right at that point. Why has YouTube not done anything about that? God knows that's worse than just about anything in the whole world. Is female uh, mutilation. That's just I can't even.
Hmm.
he's disgusting?
Right, exactly. So we're
He's
gonna
really
have to
disgusting.
yeah, for any TOS violations that he's done, he needs to um be properly educated on what he should or shouldn't do online. especially when it comes to FGM stuff and about abuse of people and individuals online. All I gotta say right now is I actually gotta be somewhere in a few minutes, so maybe we'll wrap this up for now. So if any closing words, we'll do another one tonight.
Okay, I have no closing words. I've got to go get a delivery from the front door. So I love y'all. Andrea, it's been wonderful.
Bye,
Everybody, it's
hippie.
been wonderful. I love y'all more than you know. Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye bye, hippieista. It ain't that sent another super chat. If Nader gets mail sent to Dee Dee's house, then she should have to evict me. Okay, I read that. Yes, I did get it. Ain't that? What's happening, Neri? If you rewind about 10 minutes, you'll find out. Nader El Shami has sent in a copyright strike. Other than that, Andrea, any closing words?
I'm happy to see his little world crumble around him because he's a disgusting person and he deserves that. It'll be interesting to see the content he produces the next couple of days since he got spanked by his chat. I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll watch it through a reaction channel. So
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We'll see what happens because he's been getting a reality check every single time he comes on his live streams. So all the laughing and joking around and telling people off and blocking them, cursing people out. Yeah, he ain't. It's not funny anymore now, is it, Nader? So yeah,
no.
reality check time. So yeah, thank you so much, Andrea. Happy Easter. We also had CM Cakes, and who else did we all have on the channel? I think that was it. Did we have another
Erie
person?
pepperoni.
Yeah, Airy Pepperoni was there for a little while. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody that was here. I'll be back for another Monty After Dark or a review of Chantal. If you've noticed, her views aren't that great anymore. Before
Nope.
she'd
Yeah.
get 1112, now she's like 800 views, 800,
Mhm.
which is really telling that people are just sick of her bullshit.
Yes.
If
Or
that
they're bored. She's bored.
Yeah, yeah, she is boring. I can't do it anymore. The super chats are now not even anything close to what she was getting,
Mm-mm.
not even 10% of it. And yeah, the super stickers are gone. So people are getting bored of her constant sitting on
Mm-hmm.
a chair and talking and telling lies to people.
Yes.
Yep. And I just want to say, because I am now back, I got my delivery. But to all of y'all, whoever believes whatever, I love y'all all. I, God is God. But for me, I just want to say, thank you. The Lord has risen. That's all I want to say.
All right. Thank you, Pisa. Hi, Andrea. Take care,
Bye,
everyone. See you later.
everybody. Have a good
Bye
weekend.
bye. Have a good
Bye.
one.